are so excited to introduce you to our family, let you get to know us a little bit better before we take you on the journey of building our home in our dream location. So a little bit about us. Daniel and I have been together since we were 16. We are high school sweethearts. We actually met through some friends, and we have just been best friends for the longest time. He is the best man I know, and I couldn't be more grateful for him and for our beautiful daughter. We had our daughter, she is now 16 months old, which is just hard to believe. It feels like just yesterday that I was pregnant and finding out that we were gonna have her. So she was a true blessing. We really weren't sure that we were going to be able to have children, and we're just totally surprised when we did get pregnant. It was an amazing experience and really has never stopped being an amazing experience. We ended up buying a house, Daniel and I did, when we were 19. We consider ourselves old souls. So we bought this house, we wanted to flip it and remodel it and go ahead and buy another house and do the same thing was our plan. So this first house that we bought, though, it took a while longer to remodel it than we initially planned. It was a lot of house. It was really a fun experience. We both say we remember one night we were tiling until 4 a.m. in the morning, and we'd started at 6 a.m. We tiled all day and all through the night because we were desperately wanting to get our kitchen floor completed. And this was before we were even living up in Columbia. And so we always joke that if we can make it through that, we can make it through anything, because who tiles with somebody all day and all night and can still lay on their finished floor and laugh about it? So we really are best friends. We get along very well, and we learned so much and grew so much together by doing that house. And we are just so excited to build our dream home on our 93 acres. It wasn't our original plan, like we said. We had planned to buy another house and remodel that, but when we found out we were pregnant, our whole world changed. We knew we didn't want to raise a baby in the city, and we both just wanted to get back to the country and closer to our family. So when we found out, we decided, okay, we're gonna go ahead and list the house. It'll give us motivation to get out of it and find a new place. It can't be that big of a deal. We're gonna find a new place in no time. So we put our house on the market, and it sold in 3 days, which was a huge surprise. So here I am pregnant. It was February when our house sold. I was due in April. So we ended up going ahead and moving in with our in-laws, which everybody jokes, it's like, oh my goodness, how are you gonna live with your in-laws? It has been the best experience ever. I am just so blessed to have such great in-laws. All of our family is just amazing, but they have housed us and just done more for us than I can ever explain. After I had Eleanor, I got pretty sick, and so having them here to help made all the difference in the world. I ended up in the hospital for a while. I was one of those rare cases that ended up with ulcerative colitis. So it was dormant before I got pregnant, had no idea about it. And then after I got pregnant, my hormones started to change. And then after I had Eleanor, everything went haywire, I guess, with my body. And I got really sick really quick. And I lost 20 pounds in 7 days. It was a little bit of a terrifying experience. And so after being admitted to the hospital twice, the second time I was there for over a week with a newborn, and Daniel stayed by my bedside the entire time. It was a very difficult experience for both of us, but again, it was one of those that made us stronger. And then we came back home to a very supportive family, and we have been very blessed, to say the least. So the ulcerative colitis is something I will have for the rest of my life. It's something I am learning to deal with. But you know, it is what it is. I wouldn't change it for the world. I always say it happened for a reason, because otherwise I probably would have been back at work, and I would have been missing out seeing and raising my daughter, because getting sick gave me the perspective of I don't want to miss a single day with my daughter. So I quit my job and became a stay-at-home mom, which is something that I never saw myself doing. I have the utmost respect for stay-at-home moms, but I was like, oh my goodness, I love my job way too much. I can't leave it. And I do. I mean, I wholeheartedly love what I do, but mainly I loved the place I worked. I worked at a large hospital, and my management was just fantastic, and I'd stepped into a management role, and I loved the people I worked with. They really are my second family. And I still feel that way about them all the time. I keep in close contact with them. But for me, it was the right decision to go ahead and stay home because raising Eleanor has just been the most fantastic thing ever. And it's given me the opportunity to really take the time to build the house that we want, because we weren't planning on building. This 93 acres came open and we fell in love with it. It happens to be right across the gravel road from my great-grandma, and my family has grown up in that area this whole time, so it was just meant to be for us to be in that location. So we put a bid in. It was like a 3-day closed bid type of thing, so we had to kind of jump on it, and we never dreamed we'd actually get it. Our realtor was hedging. He didn't really want to take us out there. He's like, there's no house on it. You don't want to look at that. And we were like, yes, please, we do. And so Daniel ended up going out there on his own and checking the property out. And thankfully did, because he ended up running into the main realtor that was selling the land. We ended up going through her and getting the bid. It all came out perfectly. And so once we got the land, it was time to make a decision whether we wanted to continue to search for a home and maybe stay in town because Daniel does work in Columbia, or if we wanted to build out there. And ultimately it came to the decision that we sold our home in Columbia. And no matter how much we love Columbia, we do. It was a great place to live. It was a wonderful experience. We wouldn't trade it for the world. And we wanted to raise our child on a farm with animals and in the woods and playing in mud. And so for us, we just decided to go ahead and build our dream home. We knew it was going to be hard, but like I said, we have a great family to support us. And fortunately, my in-laws were a-okay with us staying here a bit longer while we go ahead and build our house. And so here we are, and we talk about it all the time. They were gone the other night. They were working late, and Danielle and I were sitting at the dining room table and we were like, it's really quiet. And Eleanor is sitting there going, and she calls my father-in-law Pop Pop. And she's sitting there going, pop, 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 the whole time we're eating. And I was like, I don't know how we're gonna do without them. They have just become so much of a staple, and they're so helpful with everything that we talk to them about it all the time. It's going to be very hard to transition. I told them, once we get the house done, you're moving in with us, right? Like, who's going to take my laundry out of the dryer? Because I forget it in there constantly. So we joke all the time that it's so much easier to have 4 hands than it is just to have, or 4 sets of hands than just to have 2 sets of hands. So we're really grateful to be here, and we are so excited to build our dream home and get moved in, but it is going to be a strange and hard transition. And where we're at right now puts me really close to my sister. Literally, they're across the highway, so it's like 5 minutes for me to get over to her house, and she has 4 boys that Eleanor adores. So there's that also. And my mom and dad are right across the river. So everybody's within 15 minutes, whereas our house is gonna be about 30, 45 minutes from everybody, which isn't far, but we have really enjoyed being this close and having the time to play. Especially COVID hit and it complicated a lot of things, especially with me having an autoimmune disorder now. It made me pretty leery about going out because my medication hasn't been stable and I've been fighting a lot of stuff. So for me to get this infection, it would be pretty difficult, to say the least. So we have really been using the social distancing and everything else. So having my sister and my parents pretty close by to be able to go hang out with and play with, it has all just worked out perfectly. but we are so excited to get out there. It's time for us to get our house built and to start our own journey out there. There's going to be so much to do, and we have the creeks to play in, and of course Eleanor and I have big plans for animals of all shapes and sizes. We also are excited to have a garden, and Eleanor just loves playing outside, so we are ready. I hope you feel like you got to know us a little bit better. Please leave any questions or comments you have for us, and we look forward to you learning about our life and getting to experience the home building progress as we go. Daniel's planning on posting more informational videos on what he's working on and different things like that, and I'll try to keep you up to date on our family side of things.